Anytime that I find myself doom scrolling, I tell myself that I'm gonna do it for 20 minutes, but before I know it, 2 hours go by, and somehow I feel even less creative than when I started. Welcome back, I'm Christine, and this is Mike. Instead of trying to stop this habit, I'm using it to help me create art instead. Grab your sketchbook, take out your phone, and let's make doom scrolling work for us. The first thing we need is a good doom scrolling session. Oh, look, it's Tiny Chef. He's so cute. I'm already distracted. I don't know, let's just keep scrolling. This would be such a cool piece to just take color inspiration from. Ooh, look at this paint technique. We could do something with text. Whimsical art by Lindsay. I've been following this girl for like 2 years and she just keeps getting better and better. Her fantasy work, beautiful, gorgeous. Love her to death. We could do something with sunsets. All of it matches my nails. I'm just gonna screenshot anything that inspires me. Oh, look at these. Maybe I could do something with monsters in that style, like a postage stamp. Hey there, you. I just love how weird this is. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this technique before. Wow, that's cool. Okay, stay focused. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing a lot of these. I love them. Beautiful. Instagram knows that I love purple things. Ooh, here's a whole bunch of inspiration in one photo. Some more sketchy art. This is a croissant roll. I think I know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. Let's just keep going. This is interesting. Oh, and a snail. How cute is this? Bees. Bees are big right now because of spring. Oh, look at this one. Bunnies. We're done. Okay, we're done. We're done. No more doom scrolling. Time to start sketching before I lose my inspiration. This first idea is to combine two things that you saw while doom scrolling and turn them into one. I'm using the text from this portion of our doom scrolling session and combining it with these gorgeous sunsets from another part of our doom scrolling session. I don't know what's on this pencil, but this looks really gross. I'm just gonna grab a different one. Since it's spring and there are lawnmowers going outside, I'm gonna go with the word grow for the text. I'm outlining the original text with my pencil to make it a little more bubbly. This will fill things out so it stands out more. Now that I'm happy with the shape, I'm gonna outline everything with my Sharpie so I have a good base to start with. When I add color to this, I'm planning to let it go outside the lines. I want to keep it like a messy, bubbly, sketchy type of text thing. Does that make sense? Of course not, but let's just keep going. For this idea, I also want to color using items from my Comfort Art Supply kit. This little thing right here is one of my favorite items in this kit. It's an acrylic paint container and it's airtight, so it lets you store acrylic paint so it doesn't dry out. I will link the video where I made this at the end of this video, but it's been about 5 weeks and the paint is still wet. I know doom scrolling can feel like a trap because sometimes the ideas that you see just don't feel good enough or they aren't something that you want to make right now. And that's okay. It takes restraint and practice to scroll for a few minutes and then just pick something. Sometimes art is a lot like food. You know you're hungry, but nothing sounds exciting. But once you start creating, that excitement can just show up because creativity isn't always about feeling inspired. It's about learning how to find it. I'm going in with some of my favorite Sharpie Creative markers. I don't even know if I needed to do this. I kind of liked it before. But this is where I tend to push things. My sketchbook is where I practice, I repeat things, and figure out what works. If I ever end up taking it too far, I can always try it again, adjust the lines, test new colors, and see what works next time. And finally, the star of the show. This is my white gel pen. It's my favorite one. I'll make sure I link it below because I've gotten a lot of questions about it and I didn't really show it off too well in my last video. So it'll be linked in the description box if you want to learn more about it. And here is the final result. So let's compare it to our doom scrolling inspiration and move on to the next idea. The next idea is about finding a subject and turning it into something else. You might think that I'm about to turn this crescent roll into a monster, but no, 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 no. When I saw it, I immediately wanted to turn it into a little house. I've been thinking a lot about spring and drawing things in bloom, lots of greens and pinks, so that's exactly what I'm going to do with this illustration. After erasing the pencil lines, I watered down some acrylic paint and then I started building up the layers, adding lighter and more watery layers as I went. You can either mimic the style of the original post or reinterpret it into your own. I don't have the same materials they used, so I'm just recreating the idea with what I'm comfortable with. And this is why doom scrolling can be helpful. We're not just scrolling, we're studying. We're noticing colors, shapes, textures, and styles. And when something stands out to you, it kind of makes you want to recreate it. Not exactly the same, but in your own way. That's basically what I'm doing here. Now that this is done, let's compare it to the original inspiration and move on to the next idea. The next idea is another transformation, but this time I want you to connect it to a story, world, or theme that you've already created. Let's take a look at the inspiration. I saw this snail and I immediately loved the concept, but the original was a lot more earthy and darker than what I usually go for. So instead of copying it, I'm just taking the idea and turning it into something that fits my world. You know, the world of Prismatica. Plus, mine is going to be a lot cuter. Instead of just mushrooms, I'm turning the shell into a little snail house. I haven't done anything like this before, but once the idea popped into my head, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I just wanted to draw it immediately. And that's the type of creativity that this video is about. I want you to see something that makes you feel like you need to put your phone down, grab your sketchbook, and draw it right now. And if you're not feeling that excitement, don't keep scrolling forever trying to find it. Sometimes I'll just pick something that's close enough, like a color or a shape that stood out, and then I start there. That's what I did with this snail. I'll make it more interesting later on when I add a story. Right now, it doesn't have to be the perfect idea. It just has to be something interesting. Because a lot of the time, the excitement shows up after you start, and if you keep scrolling, you might miss the part where the art actually gets fun. Now for this snail's story. This little snail lives in Prismatica and was brought to life by one of our misfit monsters. You may remember her. Her name was Greta. One day, Greta found a sad gray snail in a flower pot. She carefully cradled the snail in her hands as she began to sing her a song. And as she sang, the snail slowly filled with color and excitement. Eager to explore, the snail jumped out of Greta's hands. Filled with life and color, she decided to carry her home on her back and slowly make her way through the world of Prismatica. She's on a quest to search for other tiny creatures like herself, hidden within its vast rainbow landscapes. let's compare the little snail house next to the inspiration and move on to the next idea. Before we move on to the next idea, I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you. This is a side hobby, and you guys make it really easy to continue to show up. So be sure to give this video a like, and let's move on to the next idea. I decided to sketch the next idea off camera so I could focus on the root of this idea, which is color and style. The last idea is actually really simple, and funny enough, it's the first idea that I saw while doom scrolling. Take an artist you love, look at their style, their colors, the way they create, and then try making something you would enjoy painting using the same style and elements. I know that might sound a little strange, but here's the thing. When we're doom scrolling, we're usually trying to fill a void. We're looking for someone we can relate to. Maybe they feel like a friend, and when we see them succeed, it makes us feel like we can do it too. But if we stay in that space too long, it can start to have the opposite effect. We start comparing ourselves. We start noticing how far behind we feel. Maybe we don't have the same skills yet. Maybe we're still learning how to control our tools, and that's completely normal. So instead of just watching, try stepping into it. I'm not saying that you should copy your favorite artist forever. I'm not even saying you should copy anyone. I just want you to understand what you're drawn to. And the only way to understand that is to practice creating the same art that you're admiring so much. I want you to feel what it's like to use the colors that your favorite artist is using. I want you to explore their style in your own way. This isn't my typical style, but instead of just admiring someone else's work, I wanted to try recreating it in my own way. As a result, I've learned a lot. I also think I discovered a new way to paint water because this looks pretty cool. As I'm working through this final piece in the sketchbook video, I'm starting to understand what makes the original so special to me. And instead of comparing myself the way I was before, I can actually appreciate the skills that this artist has that I'm still learning. So the next time you doom scroll, don't just get stuck in it. Use it to empower your creativity and make it work for you. Now that you've got some fresh ideas to break that doom scroll, go ahead and check out this video next. It's all about the supplies that I like to use for comfort while I'm creating, and we'll see you there.